Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're trying to move past all that information overload. We're diving straight into how you actually build a workplace that's truly inclusive and, importantly, family friendly. And we're using the Social Integration Fund, or SIFE, evaluations as our guide. So, our mission here is basically to give you a shortcut. We want to cut through the assessment criteria, get to the actionable stuff from these two big SIFE evaluations. Diversity is strength and family friendly workplace. And, really pull out those high impact practices from employers who've already done this.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. This whole SIF initiative, the dajadiba.lv website,
Uh-huh.
it really came about because employers themselves asked for one place, a single resource.
Exactly. And that demand, it really highlights something critical right now. The labor market. It's
Yeah.
fiercely competitive. I mean, employers are all vying for the same skilled people. So attracting talent and then keeping them, it's just essential. These SESIF evaluations, they aren't just bureaucratic hoops. They're tools, objective tools for companies to see where they stand and, well, start improving. Right, a starting point. So let's talk about how this system actually started. It kicked off with the Diversity Compass survey, didn't it? Which basically just confirmed employers needed help. And that led to the dajadiba.lv platform. So iSIFE runs these two tracks. Diversity is strength. That's an annual thing. And then family-friendly workplace.
That status now lasts for 3 years, right? Used to be 2.
Yeah, that's a recent change, extending it to 3 years. But probably the biggest strategic improvement SIFE made lately tackles that admin headache. Now, employers can actually fill out both assessments at the same time, one combined form.
Oh, okay. So overlapping info, you only enter it once.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving time. It's SIFE basically saying, look, we get it. This paperwork can be, well, a real barrier. It discourages people.
Right. A barrier to even trying.
So this combined form, it's about encouraging that bigger picture view, that more holistic approach to employee well-being.
That makes sense. Reducing the friction. Yeah. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how they define family in that family-friendly workplace evaluation. It's deliberately broad, way beyond the traditional nuclear family. It includes grandparents, close friends, in-laws, foster families, guardians.
Wow, close friends even.
Close friends, yeah. Which, raises a pretty important question for employers. Are you actually capturing that full spectrum? Are your policies ready for the complexity when friends count as family?
That requires some serious thinking on the policy side, definitely.
It really does.
Okay, sticking with that idea of breadth, let's focus on diversity as strength for a moment. What are the sort of tangible benefits for companies doing this yearly assessment?
Well, the big one is getting the diversity open employer status, assuming they meet the standard.
Okay.
But honestly, beyond just the badge, the real value is the feedback. It's personalized. You get an individual expert assessment. It gives you specific recommendations for improvement. That's your roadmap, basically. And it also highlights the good things you're already doing.
And that digital sign they give you, that's got to be useful for PR recruitment.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
because it's annual, companies can track their progress year on year.
Right. Show development over time, both
Yeah.
internally and externally.
Exactly. So how do you get that status? We need to look at the structure. There's an initial bit about the organization, your profile, that's not assessed. Then it digs into 3 main themes, 3 pillars. First up is our principles.
Okay.
And this isn't just asking if you have a D&I policy. It's asking if you've actually funded it. It looks at your big goals, how you allocate resources, time, money, volunteer effort, and crucially, who owns D&I.
So is it just sitting with HR, or is it properly resourced and integrated?
Precisely.
That's
Is it
not-
genuinely supported?
Pillar 2.
Our work environment.
Yeah.
This covers the physical space and the emotional climate. So yes, accessibility for employees, for clients, that's key. But it also gets into things like remote work options, part-time work, and maybe more challengingly, how clear your performance assessments are. Is compensation tied to performance? Is it fair? Transparent.
Transparency in pay and performance, that's a huge factor for diversity and inclusion roles, isn't it?
A massive one. Then the third pillar, our communication. This looks at everything. Internal updates, yes, but also your external image.
Like, do your ads reflect society?
Exactly. And critically, how do you handle discrimination or harassment cases? Is information about this stuff publicly accessible?
Right. That's a tough one. So the minimum score to get status is 60%. But you mentioned different levels: bronze, silver, gold. Gold requires 97%. That sounds incredibly high.
It is incredibly high, 97%
Yeah.
minimum. And what that tells us is, look, getting gold isn't about just starting out. It means these principles have to be absolutely woven into the fabric of your organization, touching almost everything you do. It's cultural saturation. Diversity isn't just an initiative anymore, it's just how things are done.
Wow, 97% leaves almost no room for error. Okay, let's switch tracks to family-friendly workplace.
Yeah.
The minimum there is also 60% generally, but there's a difference for smaller businesses.
Yes, that's important. For smaller organizations defined as up to 50 employees, and with restricted finances, the threshold is lower, only 50%.
That makes it more accessible for them.
It does. And the unique benefits for family-friendly status often involve, well, money, tangible financial opportunity.
Okay, like what?
Status holders can compete in specific grant competitions.
Yeah.
So you can actually get funding to develop things you're already doing or start new things. Maybe set up a children's room, run family educational events, even organize summer camps for employees' kids. Often they partner with outside organizations for this.
Summer camps, that's pretty significant. That financial piece must be really appealing, especially for private companies.
Definitely. But it's interesting, SIF makes a point of encouraging public sector places too, state, municipal bodies. They emphasize that actually a lot of important improvements don't need huge budgets.
Like improving communication
Yeah,
or just gathering feedback from staff.
exactly. Those kinds of changes often cost very little but make a big difference.
And just having the family-friendly logo itself must help with recruitment.
Oh, for sure. It's an immediate signal to potential hires.
Hmm.
It suggests the employer actually cares about work-life balance, about their people's interests outside of work.
Okay, so if an organization is thinking, right, let's do this, what are the practical steps? What's the actual process like?
You log in via the website, dajadiba.lv or vtimeni.lv. You fill out the questionnaire, which you can do over time, consulting colleagues.
But isn't there something you need even before the questionnaire?
Yes, absolutely critical. You have to upload a power of attorney, a Pildvara, signed by top management.
Right. So it proves this isn't just an HR side project. It has buy-in from the top.
Exactly. It shows it's a serious organization-wide commitment.
And the supporting documents, you said they're now mandatory for family-friendly status. That sounds like it could be a lot of work, especially for smaller places. Reinforces that myth, maybe?
It is work, no doubt. You need to budget time for it. But making it mandatory ensures the status actually means something, that it's backed by evidence. And the experts running the assessment offer a really helpful tip. When you submit your documents, point them to the exact page or section number that proves your practice.
Ah, like a little signpost.
Yeah, exactly. It speeds things up for them, and bonus, it makes your own policies easier to navigate internally too.
Okay, that's a good practical tip. Let's quickly tackle those myths again.
Right. Myth number one, this is not some kind of punitive inspection. There are no sanctions if you don't meet the standard.
It's not a punishment.
No. The truth is, it's a positive opportunity, a chance to see if your vision matches reality, and you get valuable, objective feedback either way.
And myth number two, it's not just for big corporations.
Absolutely not. It's open to everyone, small businesses, NGOs, public sector. The only requirement is committing the time to do the in-depth work and gather the documents.
Okay, so it takes commitment, but it's potentially very rewarding. Let's talk about some real-world examples. Inspiration time. You mentioned State Real Estate Vinay. What did they do that really stands out?
Yeah, Vinay is a great case. They started small. Their children's corner literally began with employees bringing in toys from home.
Zero cost start. Nice.
Right. But their commitment grew. Their annual family day, for instance, they organize it with an NGO called Aprons. And they specifically focus on families with children who have disabilities. They've done things like zoo trips together.
Ah, so it's about fostering empathy and understanding of inclusion directly among staff.
Exactly. It's practical inclusion work. And they're proactive on mental health, too. They offer free consultations with psychologists or psychotherapists if employees are going through a crisis. And I love this detail. They have an actual physical bookshelf in the office with books on anxiety, depression, motivation.
Just normalizing the conversation around mental well-being, that's powerful.
It really is. And some of their cultural things are just brilliant examples of low-cost, high-impact gestures. They have a monthly co-working day for staff who travel in from different regions.
Okay.
And it ends with an informal ice cream break at 1 p.m. Just a simple, shared moment.
Ice cream. Love it.
But it's intentionally designed to build those social connections. And leadership is involved too. Managers are expected to spend at least a third of performance reviews talking about family and private life, building trust.
So it's not just policy, it's embedded in management practice. The leader there apparently said, not everything costs money, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's just a manager asking, hey, how are you really doing today? Or letting staff watch a big football match together in the office. Small things, big impact.
Great examples. What about the second case, TVNet Group, the media company?
TVNet's focus was strongly on diversity, especially age diversity. They're actively involved in projects aimed at making the workplace better for silver age workers, so people 55 plus not.
That's a demographic often overlooked.
Very much so. And their main reason for applying for the diversity evaluation this year, it wasn't just about getting the status again. They explicitly said they didn't want to stop at already completed things. They wanted fresh expert feedback, networking opportunities, ways to keep improving.
That really speaks to the spirit of it, doesn't it? Continuous improvement, not just a one-off check.
That's what gold standard thinking looks like, I think.
Definitely. So, reflecting on all this, the range of actions is huge. You've got Vina organizing subsidized summer camps, working with NGOs on disability inclusion, and then you have things like a mental health bookshelf or that mandatory monthly ice cream break. These gestures, they seem to prove cultural commitment almost better than a formal policy document sometimes.
They absolutely do. And connecting it back to the bigger picture, yes, getting the status, especially gold, is great for PR and recruitment, but the real ongoing benefit is the self-assessment process itself. It forces that hard internal look. It makes leadership ask, does our vision actually match our employees' day-to-day experience? Which really brings up a final thought for you, the listener. Forget the formal evaluation for a second. What's one low-cost, high-impact cultural practice you can implement, maybe even starting today? Something like that ice cream break, or building family chat into check-ins, something that proves your commitment to well-being right now.
That internal check-in really is step one, isn't it? If you are ready to explore these evaluations more formally, definitely check out the resources over at dajadiba.lv. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.